Welcome to one more of the ongoing ORF expert interview series that brings you the feel of how various sectors of the economy are grappling with the current countrywide lockdown. Following the coronavirus-induced lockdown enforced by the government, the multiplexes and cinema halls all over the country have been shut for now more than a month and a half. And in fact, even before the lockdown was enforced, in early February, the multiplexes and cinema halls had registered losses to the tune of around 25%. And when finally the lockdown is lifted, and which doesn't seem to be happening too soon, as the government might not want to really crowd the places which do expect and which do generally cater to heavy public footfalls. So when the lockdown is lifted, the sector will also have to refurbish all their halls and their amenities, especially in terms of the seating and all, get things back to normal. And that may not be as simple a thing to do under the normal circumstances. So to discuss how the multiplex sector is currently coping up with the situation and the lockdown, and what are its plans to go back to normal as much as possible once the lockdown is lifted. We have with us Mr. Siddharth Jain, who is the director of Inox Leisure Limited, the second largest multiplex chain in India. A warm welcome to you, Mr. Jain, and thank you for joining this ORF virtual interview.
Dhaval, such a pleasure to be here. First of all, thank you for having me on your show. And this is the first time I'm interacting with ORF, and I'm really looking forward to interaction.
Wonderful. So as you would know, we are not generally a film magazine, but a public policy think tank. And so I hope that you find our questions a little different and more engaging from that perspective. So Mr. Jain, coming to the point, given that multiplexes have been shut now for a considerably long time, what has been, as per the industry perspective, the impact on revenues? What are the losses, and how are you coping with all of this?
Right, Dhaval. So obviously, very good points. And from a think tank perspective, I think what's important to keep in mind is that the entire film industry depicts India's soft power, not only here, but to the entire world. As you're aware that our movies and our stars are popular in hundreds of countries across the world, and our content is played everywhere. So the film industry is an integral part of our economy, and supporting the film industry is critical, not only from India's soft power perspective, but also from the angle of the employment that it generates, both direct and indirect. Millions of people are employed in the film industry right across the value chain, whether it's production, distribution, exhibition, the single screen cinemas, all our vendors, our stakeholders, everyone put together. Clearly, the coronavirus has had a negative impact on the industry. On an average, the industry used to collect about 1,000 crores a month in box office. And you add to that all the ancillary revenues, about another 500 crores a month. So it's about 1,500 crores a month was the collection of the entire exhibition space of the industry. Just the exhibition space. Of course, then there is OTT, there is digital, such as Tata Sky, etc. There's music rights, there's everything put together. Now, I'm only talking about the exhibition space, is about 1,500 crores a month. So when you look at the loss being suffered by the sector, of course, it's the 1,500 crores of revenue, but more than that, it's the livelihood and jobs of all the people, that are associated with it. Many of them self-employed. If you look at the studio floors today, they're completely empty, right? And that used to, any film hires about 300-400 people at a time to shoot. And India is the country which made the maximum number of films every year. There are almost 1,400 films. Some people say 2,000, between 1,400 and 2,000 films, which are made in India every year. And Inox alone showcases 1,150 unique titles every year, and a title comes out every week. So that's 52 weeks in a year. That's about 20 unique titles a week. It is the maximum amount of content in the world that comes out of India. So the film industry is an essential part of the entire value chain of our economy as well. And it's obviously has been an extremely difficult time for the past 2 months. The larger chains, of course, we are from Inox's perspective, we are fortunate. We have the strongest balance sheet in the entire industry, so we are coping relatively well. But there are some sacrifices that have had to be made across the board. But we are confident that the long-term story remains intact. That going to the movies is an experience. It's an outing. We Indians are social animals, and it's going to be back. I am an eternal optimist, so I truly believe it's going to be back sooner rather than later.
Right. And as you just pointed out that there is a whole lot of people who are dependent on the entire value chain of filmmaking and exhibition and distribution and everything put together. So what are the demands that the Multiplex Association of India has raised with the government to help the sector ride over the crisis? And especially given, as you very rightly said, that the actual contribution of the entertainment industry to the national GDP may not be a very substantial amount, but in terms of the emotional and the experience economy, if that can be ever quantified, I think the film world would be right up there.
Absolutely right. I mean, if you've said it so well that if you were to put a value to the emotional economy, I think we would lead the world, when it comes to the soft power aspect of it. So the Multiplex Association of India has made some demands to various industries, from the INB Ministry, Finance Ministry, Ministry of Commerce, local state governments. But primarily we have three demands. One is on wage subsidy, one is on interest-free loans, and one is a waiver of GST for the next 1 year. So I'll speak about them in specific. The first one is a simple wage subsidy of 75%. That during this downtime, please help us. Clearly, we're not going to get a return on the investment that we've made, and we're not asking for that. We're not asking for a waiver of our current balance sheet loans. What we are asking for is support for our operating expenses. And I'm not talking about rentals, just the wage bill to support everybody. The next thing we've asked for is a loan, but an interest-free loan, which is repayable in 3 years. And we've quantified it based on the number of screens. So there are certain operating expenses we have per screen. So we've asked the government for 25 lakh rupees per screen, depending on the size of the chain. So if somebody has 100 screens, they ask for 25 crores as an interest-free loan, which is repayable in a period of 3 years. And the last thing that we've asked for is the GST waiver for a period of 1 year. The primary purpose of that is so that we can make the tickets more affordable. I'm sure everybody understands that as the movies begin, the people are going to be a little apprehensive of coming back to the cinemas. So, you've got to offer them some kind of incentive to come back to the cinema, and getting 18% off of the GST would greatly help everybody woo the customers back into the theaters. Don't forget, there are almost 2 billion people a year who come to the movies, right? That's a huge, it's the world's largest movie-going population. And it is essential in our entire fabric. It's in our societal fabric.
Right. And so, as you very rightly said, that there are a whole lot of people who do watch movies, and just about everybody in India is a big movie buff. But I think it will take a little more than just the incentive in terms of the price reduction in the tickets. It will more be in terms of instilling that confidence levels back in the people, that they don't mind, coming back to places where you do have crowds gathering. So maybe, this will also enforce. So, before I ask that question, what has been the response so far from the government? How,
if you put yourself in the government shoes, we are just one industry. They've received about 100 more from 100 different industries.
Absolutely.
Because this is so unprecedented and so large, and hopefully we'll never see this again, not only in our generation, but in generations to come, that every industry is equally affected. And I can't put up my hand and say, I'm hurting more than you are. So if all of us are hurting, I do sympathize with the government and their machinery and the number of requests that are coming in. I can't expect them to respond quickly. They've heard us, but I think by the time they'll respond will take some time. And we aren't in a hurry either, for the simple reason, as you're very well aware, that the cinemas were the first to shut. The state governments asked us to shut even before the central government asked us to shut.
Yes.
And I would wager that we would be the last to open. And now to answer the second part of your question, which is what are we going to do to get consumer confidence back? So a couple of things. Let's start with hygiene factor, right? We all understand that the multiplex chains have the highest level of cleanliness and hygiene. We're going to follow all the global best practices and norms set out by regulatory people, social distancing in terms of leaving either one seat or two seats in between patrons, continuous disinfectants between shows, checking temperatures of all people, whether it's our employees or patrons, anyone that's coming in, having your hand sanitizers all over the place, wearing masks, just about everything that's in the book for a public place is what we're going to follow, and more. So,
yeah, and will this also entail staggered shows, so that
absolutely staggered show timings to ensure that there isn't crowding in the lobby and all that stuff. I mean, it's a whole laundry list, and we've spent tremendous amount of time making it. In fact, a lot of state governments have been asking us for our SOPs, which we've been sharing with them, so that when they actually ask cinemas to restart, they'll prescribe SOPs for us to restart. So it's our job to kind of nullify the fears of our customer base, and we're going to have very aggressive targeted campaigns from the industry as a whole, not just from Inox as a cinema chain, but the industry as a whole is going to have targeted campaigns to the audience to explain to them all the actions that we're taking to win their confidence and bring them back to the cinema.
Right. And I think if you look at the current lockdown, a couple of events that come to mind in the past, especially when public sentiment was so badly affected. And that was, I think, the floods of 2005 in Mumbai, and also the 26/11 of terror attacks in 2008. Though, of course, as I said, the sentiments are impacted much worse today, and people are actually afraid of going out. What learnings have you from those events that you think are helping you today to cope with this situation?
So I think, clearly those are very different events which don't kind of connect, but, there are certain learnings. And the most important learning is communication with all your stakeholders. Everybody understands that we are all in the same boat, not just the cinema industry. So I think the floods, I don't think were that much of a crisis for us. But what was really definitely difficult is post 26/11. And it took us about 3 to 4 months to come out of that slump, but we came out stronger. Of course, that was mostly Mumbai, and people were wary of going to crowded places at that time at the fear of another attack. But right now, I almost feel fortunate being in the cinema industry and being the last to open, because don't forget, before you reach a cinema, you got to take some form of public transportation to get there. You're going to be going to work. You're going to be going to factories. You're going to be going to a restaurant, a mall. You're going to be going to 10 more public places before you reach a cinema. And if those 10 public places are safe to go, cinemas are definitely going to be safe to go. So by the time we reach the stage of opening a cinema, I mean, people will be traveling by plane and train and all those things. And if those people can have certain SOPs to get over the slump, there's no reason for the cinema industry to be worried. So I'm less concerned this time than one would be after 26/11, because I feel humans are just too resilient. We're going to find a solution. And what's the worst case scenario? The worst case scenario is a 1-year dip, right? Till such time that a vaccine or a medicine is found. Look at the stock markets today. Look at the way they're reacting. They're up almost 40% from their lows. Why is it up 40% from their lows? It's sentiment driven, that people believe that there is a cure out there. Every day you see press articles coming about, oh, this medication is doing well, or that medication is doing well. It's
So
just,
yeah, I think we need to be resilient and we need to be confident about bouncing back strongly.
I think we
Uh,
will. And if we bounce back, I think cinemas is a small part of the value chain. There are so many more
right,
public places to go
that's
to
true.
before
I
coming to a
agree.
cinema.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'll just have to move on here. The impact of coronavirus in particular has been international. And I think from Bollywood to Hollywood, just about everything in between and beyond is impacted as severely. So is there any international body, especially the Global Cinema Federation, that has listed out any action plan, a collective action plan for the global sector to really come out of the current crisis?
So there are two federations. One is called the GCF, as you rightly mentioned, and another one's called NATO. And both these associations have weekly webinars where all theater owners across the world exchange views and ideas. They come up with SOPs for opening. Everybody is only talking about what's going to happen at the opening. What SOPs do we follow there? We are talking to all the stakeholders in the value chain, which are the producers and the distributors, to understand their release strategy, when are the big movies going to come, etc. So it is just constant communication amongst our entire federation and the National Association of Theatre Owners, who exchange views and ideas. And it is a very comprehensive discussion and a free exchange of views to come up with the action plan for the future.
Right. And Mr. Jain, despite, besides the multiplexes, I think the Inox Group is also engaged and is one of the biggest players in India in terms of manufacturing of industrial gases and also for the storage and logistics. So from the perspective of a multi-sectoral business person, how do you think that the private sector can really help the ongoing government's efforts?
Dhaval, there are enough of the doomsday people who say that the world's going to come to an end, right? But Indian entrepreneurs have faced these kind of roadblocks many times in the past. This is not the first time. And as I think a famous word of resilient, right? We are extremely resilient. We are optimists. And it is the private sector's duty during this time. The government can't do everything, right? On one side, we're asking them for wage subsidies and interest subsidies. They're supporting the MSME sector. They're supporting the bottom of the pyramid. It is the private sector's duty to go and get external equity. So what we as entrepreneurs do really well is have business plans and execute on those business plans. There is going to be a liquidity crisis that comes in India, no doubt. But inherently, 1.3 billion people are going to consume a lot of stuff. So it is up to us as the private sector. If we don't have equity, go and raise equity, dilute your shareholding, raise equity, and invest in the country. We as the Inox Group are going to continue our investments just the way it was before, because India is on a per capita GDP of $2,000, and as we come out of this $2,000 GDP cusp, it's going to lead to tremendous consumption. We are moving from survival mode to consumption mode. And if the private sector doesn't support the country in investing in infrastructure, whether it's manufacturing, agriculture, or services, whichever sector, then who's going to do it? It's our duty to do it. And trust me, there's plenty of capital available to do that. It's not about debt. We don't have to borrow debt and do it. Too many people think about debt. I mean, I don't know why everybody keeps thinking about debt.
So in a nutshell, if I may say that, it will have to be a kind of a PPP, a real solid PPP to help India and the world to really come out of the current crisis.
For sure, the private sector we cannot expect the government to do everything. It is our duty to also contribute a lot.
Right. So thank you very much, Mr. Jain, for talking to ORF and sharing your personal as well as the industry perspective on the current and the ongoing fight against COVID-19. And for whatever it takes, while the current closure of the big screens has moved the traffic away to OTT platforms and maybe even the rerun of the popular teleserials, the living room, smart gadgets and smart TVs, and even your palm-held gadgets are no comparison. They are no match for the big screen experiences. The movies are meant to be big. Movies are meant to be larger than life. And so best wishes to Inox and the entire industry in your ongoing struggle. And sadly for now, we'll all have to stay home and stay safe. And the movies, as we've always known them, will have to wait for some more time. But we can only hope that it's not too long a time. And so thank you all for watching, and please visit the ORF website and subscribe to our YouTube and other social media platforms to get regular updates on our uniquely curated content. Thank you all very much. Stay home and stay safe.
Thank you so much, Dhaval. Really appreciate it and enjoyed the interview a lot.